quiz, a little bit small sessions on question and answering. So let's start. Bismillah. This is a small video clip on the proteins. And after that, we'll go to the canvas. There's a link on which we can do a small activity or a quiz. Just to understand, it's not going to be graded, just to understand that you guys have understood the important points that might arrive in your exams when you're taking the final exams for the IGCSE coordinated subject. So let's start. Bismillah.
Proteins play countless roles throughout the biological world. Some transport the body. Some help chemical reactions to happen at faster rates. Others build the structures that make up living things. Despite this wide range of functions, all proteins are made out of the same 21 building blocks, called amino acids. Amino acids are made of carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, and hydrogen atoms, and some contain.
If there's any confusion while watching the video, please raise your hand. I am with you guys, and I will be able to explain the whole scenario. So feel free to ask a question whenever you want. I'll be vigilant with you. I'm watching the video. I'm not going anywhere around. As some of the students have asked, that when you play the video, teacher, do you go and relax? So no, I'm with you guys, and I'm listening to everything he's saying. If there's any question, anything that you're unable to understand, raise your hands.
Sulfur atoms. Selenocysteine is the only standard amino acid that contains a selenium atom. These atoms form an amino group, a carboxyl group, and a side chain, all attached to a central carbon atom. The side chain determines an amino acid's properties and is the only part that varies from amino acid to amino acid. Hydrophobic amino acids have carbon-rich side chains, which don't interact well with water. Hydrophilic, or polar, amino acids interact well with water. Charged amino acids interact with oppositely charged amino acids or with other molecules. Primary structure. The primary structure of a protein is the linear sequence of amino acids as encoded by DNA. The amino acids in a protein are joined by peptide bonds, which link the amino group of one amino acid to the carboxyl group of another. A water molecule is released each time a peptide bond is formed. This linked series of carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen atoms is the protein backbone. Protein chains often fold into two types of secondary structures, alpha helices and beta sheets. An alpha helix is a right-handed coil stabilized by hydrogen bonds between the amine and carboxyl groups of nearby amino acids. Beta sheets are formed when hydrogen bonds stabilize two or more adjacent strands of amino acids. The tertiary structure of a protein is the three-dimensional shape of the protein chain. This shape is determined by the characteristics of the amino acids making up the chain. Many proteins form globular shapes with hydrophobic side chains sheltered on the inside, away from surrounding water molecules. Membrane-bound proteins have hydrophobic amino acids clustered together on their exteriors, so that hydrophobic side chains can interact with the lipids in the membrane. Charged amino acids allow proteins to interact with molecules that have complementary charges. The functions of many proteins rely upon their three-dimensional shapes. For example, hemoglobin forms a pocket to hold heme, a small molecule with an iron atom in the center that binds to oxygen. Quaternary structure. Two or more polypeptide chains can come together to form one functional molecule with several subunits. The four subunits of hemoglobin cooperate so the complex can more easily pick up oxygen in the lungs and release it in the body. Different visual representations of proteins can give us visual clues about protein structure and function. This space-filling.
I hope everybody remembers that this is the red blood cells. We are talking about the hemoglobin. It's the protein which carries the iron. The iron has the ability to absorb the oxygen. It's not chemically reacting with it. It is just providing it a space to get accommodated inside. And when the oxygen concentration is low into the neighboring cells, the oxygen actually moves out or goes back in. All right? Please do not mix this thing up. This is not happening as a chemical reaction. The oxygen gets accommodated inside the hemoglobin molecule.
Diagram shows all of the atoms that make up this protein. This representation, called a ribbon or cartoon diagram, shows the organization of the protein backbone and highlights alpha helices. This surface representation shows the areas in the protein that are accessible to water molecules. Most proteins are smaller than the wavelength of light. For example, the hemoglobin molecule is about 6.5 nanometers in size. Hemoglobin is found in high concentration in red blood cells. A typical red blood cell contains about 280 million hemoglobin molecules. The three-dimensional shapes of proteins determine their function. The flexible arms of antibodies protect us from disease by recognizing and binding to pathogens and targeting them for destruction by the immune system. The hormone insulin is a small, stable protein that can easily maintain its shape while traveling through the blood to regulate blood glucose level.
In this scenario, as you can see, that once the insulin comes in, it has to not get into the cell. It actually combines with the cell membrane. There's a receptor. Once the receptor gets that signal, it opens up the gateway to receive the glucose molecules.
Alpha amylase is an enzyme that begins digestion of starches in our saliva. The calcium pump is aided by magnesium and powered by ATP to move calcium ions back to the sarcoplasmic reticulum after each muscle contraction. Ferritin is a spherical protein with channels that allow iron atoms to enter and exit depending upon an organism's needs. On the inside, ferritin forms a hollow space with iron atoms attached to the inner wall. Ferritin stores iron in a non-toxic form. Collagen forms a strong triple helix that is used throughout the body for structural support. Collagen molecules can form elongated fibrils, which aggregate to form collagen fibers. This type of collagen is abundant in skin and tendons. Learn more about the functions and 3D structures of proteins and other molecular machines at the
So the collagen is actually what you mentioned is used in the tendons, even for the cartilage bones as well. The cartilage bones are available in your nose, in your ears. They provide you the structure. The tendons are there to connect your muscles with the bones. So this video, which we're going to see, is about the testing. What are we going to use to test if there's any proteins in the given sample, and a little bit of introduction of proteins.
Have in common. They are all made of protein. In this video, we're going to discuss the structure and uses of protein molecules. Proteins are long chain molecules made of strings of amino acids joined together. All amino acids are compounds with a similar basic structure. They have an amino group, a carboxyl group, and a side chain, or R group, that is specific to each amino acid. There are 20 different amino acids. All of the different proteins are made from these 20 amino acids. The variation in proteins is caused by the order of amino acids, the chain length, and by folding the chain in distinct ways. As part of a balanced diet, roughly, how much of it do you think should be protein? About 14%. Sources of protein in our diets include meat, fish, eggs, cheese, beans, and nuts. But did you know that proteins are large molecules, too large for our bodies to absorb? That's why enzymes in our digestive system break down proteins into amino acids, which are small enough to pass from our digestive system into our blood to be assimilated by the body. When we absorb these amino acids, they are then built back up into proteins and used in a variety of ways. To test food for protein, you need to use copper sulfate solution and sodium hydroxide solution. These two liquids together may be called Biuret solution, which is a...
This is important. Please note that we have two kinds of solutions over here. One is called copper sulfate solution, which is light blue in color, and sodium hydroxide. Once you unite them together, the solution that you get is called Biuret solution. So let me repeat that part so I can explain it again to you guys.
Test food for protein. You need to use copper sulfate solution and sodium hydroxide solution. These two liquids together may be called Biuret solution, which is a pale blue liquid. To begin the first experiment, first make a solution of the food sample by dissolving it in some water. You may need to grind it up first with a pestle and mortar. Next, add a few drops of sodium hydroxide solution to your food solution. Then a few drops of copper sulfate solution. If the solution turns lilac or purple, the food contains protein. If the food solution remains blue, no protein is present. But how does our body build proteins from amino acids? Our DNA acts as a set of instructions for how to build proteins. Each individual's DNA is made of slightly different genes, which explains some of the differences between people. For example, hair color and eye color. A change in the DNA, called a mutation, can lead to a protein with a different structure being produced. This can lead to albinism, for example. To learn more about mutations, you can watch this video. So what are proteins used for in the body? The answer is they are used in thousands of ways. Our hair, nails, skin and muscles are all examples of structures made of protein. Many hormones, including insulin, are made of protein. Antibodies, made by white blood cells to...
Yes, Hamza has a question. Yes, Hamza?
So, Mister, so DNA, it has different colors and hairs because of different protein and stuff.
DNA, is there a dog on the backside? Okay.
No, that's Ahmed.
Bush,
I mean, yeah.
Okay, so it's actually the combination. If you change the combination, then you'll have different colors. The amino acids, the DNA, they stay the same. I mean, their composition is same. But if you're looking at the sequence, it changes. Okay, Mr.
Okay.
Counselor wants to talk. He wants the mic. Hold on a second, please. Yeah. Yes, Mr. Counselor, you have the mic.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you, Mr. I need 1 minute, please. Huh?
Sure, sir.
طيب يا شباب، كيف حالكم؟ إن شاء الله بخير طيبين. شباب، راح يكون عندنا اليوم حصة إرشاد معاي أنا الساعة 2، يعني في نهاية الحصة هذه الحصة تنتهي 1:55. الساعة 2 في حصة إرشاد. راح تكون معاي لمدة 20 دقيقة. هي راح تكون ربوع ايوه ربوع لا، اليوم ربوع جريد خاصة بجريد 9. أتمنى الجميع يكون موجود. طبعا تسألني عن التحضير راح يكون فيها يعني كتابة اسماء الطلاب اللي حضروا. الحصة مفيدة لك في حياتك، تتكلم عن الإرشاد النفسي. أتمنى الجميع يكون موجود الساعة 2. الرابط راح تدخل من الهوم بيج، نفس الرابط اللي تدخل فيه حصة الإي كيو وحصة التربية. خلاص يا شباب، بالله أتمنى أشوفكم كلكم هناك الساعة 2 بإذن الله. Thank you, Mr.
You're welcome, sir. Okay, so we'll go back to the Hamza. Hamza, if you're looking at the sequence, you're going to find that the amino acids are 20, right? And in the DNA, we have nitrogenous bases. We have adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine, 4 of these. If you remember, you might have seen in a lot of movies that there's a helical DNA spiraling all going in this way. So if you're going to check it, you're going to find that they have a sugar molecule, 5-carbon sugar molecule. We call it the ribose sugar, but it is without oxygen, so we call it deoxyribose sugar. And nucleic acid comes in as it is, the protein. So a protein with a sugar molecule with the nitrogenous base. So there are 3 things in a DNA, and they will always stay the same. They're never going to change, but their sequence changes. For example, if you have here, let me open up a new white screen share. Let's say if I, let me have a text session on. I'm going to go like this way. So A, T, G, C. These are the 4 nitrogenous bases which are actually changing in a DNA. The rest of the sugar and the protein stays the same. So they have to bond, they have to create a bond with the adenine bonds always with T. T and A, they make a pair, they make a bond. It's actually a double bond. With T, you can always understand they have connection with A. The guanine connects with C, and the C connects with G. They have triple bond. Over here, I'll have to draw another line to show that they have a triple bond. 1 and 2, 3. Okay, so this is wrong. Hold on, I have to make a straight line. Okay, so they are going in a sequence like this. A comes first, then T, then G, and C. Okay, let's try to make a sequence. I need a text. Let's say this is the hair sequence of Hamza. And then we have A. So you know the corresponding will be connecting with T. This connects with C. These connections will never change, but the sequence can change, right? This is, let's say, Hamza, sorry, T. It's actually a long sequence. It's not just only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've taken 6 steps, but if you're looking in reality, you're going to find that they might contain maybe 1,000 steps, maybe 200 steps, maybe 40,000 steps, depending on what kind of protein we are looking at. I'm just trying to show you a simple example. If we have another person, let's say Abdul Wahab is here. Abdul Wahab might have a hair sequence like this. He would have a starting point with C, and then comes T, and then A, G, G, A. So this might be telling you a different texture, maybe different color. Some people have straight hair, some people have curly, some have extra curly. So depending on their color, their texture can also change. So the sequence changes. The DNA is chemically, they are the same thing. Only the instructions are designed, they are changed. So I hope that answers the question, but they have removed the spaces. Why did this happen? I don't know. They were supposed to be having gaps, but they don't like gaps in this. So let's go back to the video. I hope this answers the question. Thumbs up. If you have understood the answer, please lower down your hand. If you haven't, then I'll explain again. Or I'll do the lowering hand for you. If you still have a question, please raise your hand. Let's go back to the video. Let's finish it off.
Protect us from diseases are also made of protein. Enzymes, biological catalysts found inside our body, are made of proteins too. You can learn more about enzymes in this video. And last but not least, proteins are also used to move some substances across cell membranes in active transport. For example, to absorb glucose in the small intestine. So now you can see just how important proteins are.
So,
If you liked the video, give it a thumbs
Please
up.
like and share our
And
videos
don't
with
forget
your
to
friends.
subscribe.
If you have any
Comment.
Astaghfirullah, these voices. Okay, Mohammed Saidi has a question. Yes, Mohammed?
Mr. So all biological molecules is proteins?
No, there are three of them. Actually, four of them. Carbohydrates, proteins, fats, and nucleic acids.
Okay.
But the proteins is the largest group. They have a lot of functions to do. They have the defense, the transportation. They have the protein, the muscles, the skin, and the hair. So they have the biggest job to do. Proteins, enzymes, chemical reactions. Right?
Yes.
All right. Good. So let's go to this link, which is about ducksters.com. Maybe people like ducks. It's a simple session. I hope you guys will be able to. Okay, so let's have you can have the answers through the chat, or you can, raise your hand if you want to answer one of these questions. So which one of them is not of one of the four main elements of an amino acid? Which of the following is not contributing to make an amino acid? Is it hydrogen or carbon, nitrogen, calcium, or oxygen? That's a simple question. Yes, Hamza, Hudhaifa, Majid, Muhammad Basyuri. Come on, the geniuses of the class, the stars. It's time to shine. Are you guys with me? Or everybody's gone on a weekend preparation? We have started an activity, the quiz, just to make you guys realize that you know or you don't know. So let's see, Hudhaifa, are you with me? So we have one chat answer. Okay, Muhammad Baswili finally made an answer, which is correct. Anybody else? Hudhaifa, yeah. Yeah is not the right answer. What would be the option 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5? You can write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for these 5 options. Which one of them is not needed for making an amino acid? Which one is the alien for this group? Hamza, no man, you need this. Remember the carboxylic group? You have the oxygen over there. So oxygen is needed. Yes, Mohammed Saidi, you are right. So 2 people, Basyuri and Saidi, you guys have done it right. Hudhaifa is still unable to comprehend the question. Come on, Hudhaifa. Yes, I agree with you. But why would we need this? If I had that superpower, I would have been in my country by now. I would have been traveling daily. Hudhaifa wants to speak.
Yes. Are we gonna do a quiz today or what?
Aren't we doing a quiz right now? Hudhaifa, can you see my screen?
Yeah, I see your screen.
We have started the quiz. I'm asking you to answer the question. And then he mutes himself again. So the first answer is yes, true, calcium. And let's go to the second one. How many different kinds of amino acids do we have in our bodies? There were 2 videos on it. They both said the same thing. Who would like to answer that? Do we have 4, 12, 40, 180, or 1,000? So Basiri, you're right. Good show, mashallah. Anybody else? Majid, Muhammad al-Saidi. Saidi is not answering. Hamza and Omar. Uzaifa, wake up. Basuri, you are right, but the second option is not right. This is the number that we can actually produce by ourselves. This is the second number that you have mentioned, is the number of amino acids that we can make by ourselves. No, Saidi, that is not true. You saw 2 videos. He gave you a long list of, so I think I should answer it now. We have 20 amino acids, out of which 12 we can produce in our body and 8 we cannot. According to the latest science, now we say 9 of them we cannot produce by ourselves, but 8 according to the book, so let's keep it 8. So next one is a true false. Who would like to read this out? Hudhaifa, would you like to read this question number 3?
Yes, I would be. I'd love it to read it.
Okay, let's see, you love.
True or false? All amino acid in our bodies come from food. False.
Why false?
Because not all of them come in our bodies. Like not all of them. Some
Come
come in
from
our.
food. He's saying that all of your amino acids is coming from food.
Yeah, not all of them that come in the food. Like
How
some
many
of them,
comes from the food?
I don't know. Maybe true.
It's not maybe true, it is false. Because 12 we can make by ourselves, and 8 we are dependent on food. We need these 8 from food. Okay, so let's go to question number 4. Hamza Bukhari, you have the mic. Hamza, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Good.
Oh, you want me to read it?
4, yes.
Proteins
Please.
are made out of long chains of.
Would you like to read the options as well?
Sure. Either short strains of RNA,
Okay.
or the second option is short strands of amino acid. Third option is long chain of RNA. Fourth option is long chains of amino acid. And the fifth region is different combination of RNA and amino acid.
Well, what do you think? I'll help you with one thing. That the strands, since we didn't study about the strands or RNA, so we'll skip these options, the short strands of RNA, the short strands of amino acids. So we'll take away these first 2, so you have to choose from the last 3.
The fourth option.
All right, but Saidi says 4th option, or Hamza says 4th option. Anybody would say 3rd or 2? You can chat, you can send the message. Okay, let's go to question number 5. Thank you, Hamza. Is Omar with us? Omar Bukhari, you have the mic. Omar Bukhari, are you with us?
Yes, mister.
Yes. Would you like to read question number 5?
Okay. What percentage of the body is made of proteins? 5% or 10% or 20% or 50% or 100%?
What do you think? Yes, Omar, would you like to guess?
20.
Okay, 20 is good. And Saidi says 20, and Masudi says something else, so let's check. So majority of the people said 20, so let's say 20. Let's check it out. So next one is Abdul Wahab. Abdul Wahab, are you with us? Abdul Wahab, I'm giving you the mic. Yes, Abdul Wahab. Question number 6. No voice. Sorry, Abu Wahab, we can't hear you. And Basuri has chosen an answer which is correct. Okay, good job. Anybody else? Okay, let's give the mic to... we have only 10 people in the class. Wow. Wasim, would you like to read question number 6?
Yes, mister.
Would you like?
Why are proteins important? Proteins are essential for survival. There are thousands of different proteins in the human body. Proteins provide all sorts of functions. Like in food, you have proteins that help you move, that help you go throughout the day. Every cell in the human body uses protein. All of the above. The last one. I chose last one.
Choose the last one.
All of the
Saidi,
above.
what do you think? Your message didn't show up in the chat. Anybody else? So Wasim has made a very wise decision. He says that all of the above, which is correct.
Mister, do you know why I chose all of above? Because
Yes.
you need proteins to help you. And function, proteins help you move. Like as you eat breakfast. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. It
Right.
helps you it helps start up the body.
Right, agreed. So you chose the right option. You had the right reasons. Very good. 7, would you like to read 7 or should I give it to someone else?
I'd rather let someone else so that you can test them.
Okay, let's give
Mister,
this-
yes. I have one thing. If I get out of the lesson, like leave the lesson, my iPad died.
Your iPad just now or in the previous sessions?
Previous sessions too.
Okay, I'll keep it in mind. All right. Whenever this happens, just leave a single email, one line that my iPad battery wasn't sufficient enough, or please keep them charged up. So Basuri, you are right. So I'll give it to Basuri to read that question. Question number 7. Yes, you have the mic, Mohammed. Is it working? Your mic isn't working? Okay, let's go to Saidi. Saidi, what would you like to answer?
Number 7. Where are the instructions for how to make a protein located in a cell? 1. Membrane. 2 is lysosomes. 3rd is ribosomes. 4th is nucleus. 5th is mitochondria.
Yes, you can say mitochondria. You can say that. So, what would you think? What's the right answer?
Ribosomes.
Ribosomes are the proteins themselves. He's asking you where is the instructions, where are the the complete data information on how to make a protein in a cell. So the brain of the cell was nucleus, if you remember, that contains the DNA, which has all the information that how should be a protein made, when it should be made, and then how much amount it should be made. So nucleus is the answer, right?
Yes.
Good. So Mohammed, good effort. I liked it. Number 8, we'll give to Hudhaifa. Number 8.
Okay. Which type of protein is found in cartilage or tendons? I think it is defensive.
All right. If you remember when you were watching the movie about the collagen, I mentioned about the cartilage and the tendons, that they have the ability, if it's a tendon, it has an ability to connect the bones with the muscles. And if you're looking at the cartilage, your ears and your nose.
It's like structural is
the right idea. It gives you the structure, it develops the structure. So let's go to number 9. Anybody would like to read number 9, or Uzaifa should continue? Oh, Uzaifa muted himself again. We'll give this to Uzaifa. Says Mike. Here comes the mic.
I want to do number 9 also.
Okay, do 10 as well. Who is this?
Is catalyst perform which of the following functions?
Your younger siblings?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's reading also.
All right. Catalyst which perform what kind of
Convert
function?
DNA into RNA.
If you remember, catalyst and the enzymes have the same job.
Carry essential nutrients.
No.
Assist in chemical reactions.
Finally, so this is correct. And the last one?
I'll do this one too.
Yes, go ahead.
It will be transport.
Which carries oxygen in our blood? The protein hemoglobin. What is it? Your answer is transport.
Catalyst, I mean.
Catalyst? No, it's the
I'm
transport.
not sure.
The transport,
transport.
right. Transport, yes. So we have done all right. So
Yeah, we have finally won it. It's
Yes.
easy. It's easy.
It's just a warm-up session. We didn't go to the right, the right kind of quiz yet.